Anybody have any questions? You know, got Gary here, you got me here. Let's just, kind of have a little chit chat. Um, any questions on any of the site? What site, what products are you guys using? What challenges are you having? What successes are you having? What questions do you have? So, let's just kind of open it up a little bit that way for everybody that's going to be listening. And then I'll give you a little bit of data about what we're going to be doing the rest of this week. So the floor is yours. If you'd like to ask any questions. And we do have a new course that we just sold on Warrior Form. If we don't have any questions, Gary, speed of the leader equals speed of the team. So does that mean you want me to slow down a little bit so that we can take our time? Or do you want me to hurry up and go so fast so we can get done quicker so you can have something to eat? Where we go. Either way. So anyway, we're gonna give everybody a chance to pick up another little course that Gary mostly created, and so I'll give him a chance to talk a little bit about that. But we did it on Warrior Form, was fairly successful. Last two that we've done on Warrior Form were pretty good. So Gary, we're gonna probably add this course either to something else that we're doing this week, or we might just do it on its own, or shit, we might just give it away. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to do. So real quickly, I know you're not feeling well too, Gary, but give a little synopsis about, what it is and what's coming.
Actually, I think it'd be easier to share my screen and just give a quick overview.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So let's share the screen. And well, where do I want to start? I'm going to start here and change the page to Google Keep. All right. Let me know when you can see my page, folks.
I better unmute myself. There you go.
Give me a one in the chat when you can see my page, please.
Let me see it. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So how many people here are familiar with Google Keep? Give me a one if you're familiar with Google Keep.
If you are, what does it do? You tell us what it's supposed to do. Why do you use it? How do you use it?
Well,
holds notes.
Holds notes.
There you go.
Does that. That's
so does Pavarotti. He holds notes for a very long time. Yeah. But yes, you're right. Holds notes. Okay.
So one of the things in exploring Google Keep that I've kind of discovered, there's some features to it, as well as links that you can use that I want to share with you. And when you mouse over, you'll notice different features. You can add collaborators, you can add colors and different things. You can add images, which I tend to do. But in here is a feature, and this is why I always start here at Google Keep. And basically, it's not where I end up, but it's where we start. I can collect these three dots, and you'll notice you can add labels, drawings, make a copy of it, grab the image text. But right here, it says copy to Google Docs. So if I copy this to Google Docs, what is going to take place, guys? Anybody have an idea? What happens if I copy this note from Keep into Google Docs?
Is it going to be made public? Backlink?
It's a backlink.
Diane said backlink.
George says backlink.
David says backlink.
Well, let's play with it for a second. So let's go ahead and click that. We're copying this over to Google Docs, and we're going to open the doc. Now that I have this, what can I add over here? Now we have a link to a target over here, guys. Yeah, you would, the collaborate, yeah,
Everybody has to have it, yeah,
they would have to have a Google account.
yes.
But let's kind of focus a couple things we can do here. Since this is a link to a target, one of the things I could do
100%.
is copy this target. Might not let me do it the way I want to do it. And see, I have an image up here, guys. So let's take this image.
Can I ask you a question first?
Yeah, go ahead.
So you have an image. Did you do anything on that image to make it special from,
Not on this particular one, but I would do what you're talking about. But I
does
would,
anybody know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about for our images? When we put them in any of our documents, what are we supposed to do with our images? Minimum of alt tag, minimum of metadata, minimum of linking it somewhere. Right. So if you do those three minimal things within the image itself, and there's dozens and dozens and dozens more you can do, stack them, like Diane said as well. There's lots of stuff we could do with them, but you got to do the minimum. Got to do those three minimum pieces that you just set up there, which will really enhance what Gary's about to share, and the backlinking, the authority, helping ranking and all that. So it plays a part in it. So, sorry, go ahead, Gary.
so I just linked this image to a site, right?
Yeah, she's a hyperlink right there. There you go.
Right. Well, there's already a link here, but I also linked the image. Those are two separate things.
Yep.
So the other things that we can do, and we want to stay within the niche itself, right? So this is the monodental implant niche, correct? Everybody see this? What this is, right? So I would take and go to my docs. And I'm gonna go find some links that are related to the niche that I'm in. And chances are, for those of you on the call that are familiar with the authority docs, how many people are not familiar with the authority docs? Give me a 2 if you don't know. Okay, George.
George.
We'll slow it down long enough to explain what they are. And Big Al, the authority docs are Google Scholar, YouTube, Google Search, and Wikipedia. Google is determined that they are an expert in any niche, any field, any question. They're considered an expert. So by using links from those, we're gonna pass the authority on to our target. And so we're gonna do things like, right here is a keyword file that's related to this niche. So I'm gonna take and grab the share link.
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
You have a keyword file connected to what? I mean,
we're about to put this together and show you.
because it's okay.
So we're gonna copy the link to the keyword file. That's the first piece we're gonna use. So we're gonna go back over to our doc that we're working on.
First off, in that file, Gary,
Yes,
is it important that they know that that's a hyperlink for all the keywords back to something, or is that you're going to share that?
we're gonna share that.
Okay.
So we've anchor text that entire keyword file. That means that those keywords are linked to a site or a target. Okay. So I'm going to do something that's most of you probably haven't seen done before. I'm gonna insert, and I'm gonna come down here and put a comment in. And in my comment, I'm gonna put what? I'm gonna put this link to a keyword file.
And you can put more in there other than just that, right?
Yeah, we can put a lot more, but
Right.
watch what we're gonna be able to do. I'm gonna drop this down for a second. See our three, our dots?
3 dots. Mhm.
We could get a link to this comment, but we're
Oh,
not gonna do that right now. And I'm gonna show you why in just a minute. What I can do, if I click this, I can now reply to the comment that I just put in there. Everybody see that? So what are we gonna do? Well, let's see what we can do with that. I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna go back and get the authority docs. But for right now, I've already got lots of comments in this one. Tons of links, RSS feeds. I have maps.
so
See
George,
that?
the answer to your question is yes, you can just put the hyperlink list in the comment itself.
Oh yeah, yes. But I'm going to show you that once you have more than one comment,
You can comment on your
you
comment.
cannot get a link to the individual. Now you can only get a link to the stack. Everybody see that?
Okay?
So now that we have a stack, we have about 10 comments on this image right here. Each of the, now, when you do slides, you also have notes down here, which are more links and data. So what you're building right here is a monster. And when I say a monster, I want you to think about this for a minute. See all the data that we have in this slider. We'll copy our link. Google's going to read all this and stack it and give you the authority of a stack. But you could take the end comment stack, grab that link, and it's going to tie all these properties together. And we're going to show you that. So I'm going to go
Well,
back
you
to,
you basically created a PowerPoint presentation here, right?
yeah, that is what that is.
Okay. And
But-
so
but it's-
literally, just so I understand it, right, is that you're creating through an entity that Google allows us to do to create comment, i.e. anything you want to put in to help your customer, help your client, help your property rank. Doesn't just have to be, hey, nice comment, nice picture. You can stack it with information that's going to be helpful for ranking purposes. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Correct. But we're going to go a little bit farther with it as well. So let's go back to our slides for just a second. And in here,
That's crazy. Oh, you have a map in there too?
yeah, I got RSS feeds, I have maps. We're going to copy the link address for that map. We're going to bring it back.
And comment on the comment with that comment?
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
Now I'm having a little problem going a little farther where I could comment more, a little deeper on this.
Well, I think you could probably go as
But-
far as you can until you can't.
Well, I can't, because of the bot, because we're in a Zoom.
That's fine.
So what I would do here, if you weren't in a Zoom, I could keep going.
But no, it's fine. We get the point. But it is,
Oh.
there is a bottom to it at some point.
There is. So now let's see what we can do over here on the side. We have different things we can use. Everybody see this? Watch this. we could add this to the calendar. Everybody see that? We just attach the whole Google Keep document right into a calendar. Everybody see that? Now we could add a link to that if we want. So, since I have a link, I'll throw that link in there. We're going to save it. We're going to come back. We know we can go back to Google Keep. But what about, here's our maps. Now, what I would do here, if I were doing this the right way, I would actually, how many people would be using this for a GMB or a specific business address? I would actually use the physical address of a location for my map. Okay? Now, I didn't do that because I didn't go grab the address, but we could. Now, anybody have an idea what we could do here? Yeah, I would use it. Yeah, you could use it for that. Yeah, but I'm going to show you something you hadn't thought about. Directions. I went and grabbed that already. See that? I see the directions in there. Just so you can see it in action. But let's try something a little different. I know I'm getting a little off track for you.
I have a trivia question for everybody. How many times have you been on these calls and how many times did you expect Gary to get a little off track?
That's a great question, right?
All the time, Norbert says.
So
But you love it, don't you? I mean, we just keep going down the trail.
now, this is going to scare you.
Oh, welcome,
Guys.
George, for your first call. Interesting.
We're going to get the share button. I don't want to do that. I want the link itself. I gotta remember how
How
we
about the directions link?
all right. I may be able to do it just from here. been a little while since I've done it, so I'm a little rusty with it, but
Anybody doesn't use one tab as an extension to save all of your searches in a separate tab that doesn't use up your resources, it's a great little tool called One Tab. Anybody use it? It works for both Google and for Bing as well. Yeah, it's George, it's a great little tool. You can open it up. A bunch of them out there, but I like it because you can set up tabs. And the other thing about, here's another thing about that particular tab is that if you have and set up correctly the sites that you have the tabs open on, which are your sites, you can actually use it as an SEO tool because the ranking structure of a one tab link is pretty high. It's up, I think, in the 40s to 60s. So we use it for I use it for SEO purposes.
Anybody see what just happened here?
No, they were listening to me talk.
I realize. What have we created here? Come on, we're interactive today. This is how we learn.
You might want to go back a half a step.
I put a web page URL into the feed creator and click preview.
Okay.
And we created Google Maps as an RSS feed. We right click, we copy the link address, right? We have a link address. And the next thing we could do with it, because there's more we can do, folks, this is next level stuff, okay?
You might want to, when you're done, put that link in the chat for everybody, Gary.
I will.
For both of them, the RSS feed.
And now, I have to change a few things in here because if I'm going to use it for a G site, I cannot use JavaScript for a G site. It won't work, right? So what do we have to do? We have to change it to an iframe. We're going to submit and get our code. And look at there. Look at our preview. We now have JavaScript for an iframe. We can do an iframe for an RSS feed of a map that we can now put into your G sites. Anybody ever seen anything like this before?
Probably new to most people. Depends how.
I think this would be new to most SEO people. I don't even think most SEO people would ever master this. Okay? So, we can now use this, even though this is an iframe. What can we do with our iframe if we don't embed it? What happens if we go back over to our Google Keep documents, right?
So as an RSS feed from a location map link to make into iframe code to put it into G site, yes? You hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was Diane's question.
Yeah, you could put it into a G site. You can put it in here into our notes. You can put it in Google Keep.
You can actually put it anywhere you can paste it. That allows
Anywhere.
pasting, correct?
Watch. Let's go make use of it. I can do it in the slider. I got room in the slider. So in my slider, let's get into my so we're adding a new comment. So there's our iframe in a comment. See that? Now we can get a link to this comment. Why? Because it wasn't attached to the entire thing before, right? And since I now have a link to that iframe, I can go back here, click insert. We start a new comment stack. Boom. Everybody see what we're doing here? Now, how about Google Sheets? Can we
Well,
do
before
this?
you go there, Diane has a question. If we already
Oh.
have a map link in the comments in a slider, why would we need the iframe? Is it because it sees the RSS code differently?
Yes. And remember, Diane, remember this. What is unique to an RSS feed that no other link has? Updates. It constantly changes. So if it constantly changes, it's considered what? New fresh content.
It'll refresh the data within wherever you place it,
Yeah.
whenever it refreshes from the data from the RSS feed that's providing it. So it's a constant updating, constant pinging, constant, signals to Google. Hey, come look at me again. Come look at me again. Come look at me again.
Exactly. So what we've done, remember, what is unique to all these properties that's only unique to Google properties themselves?
Hint,
How about the PADA and spam scores? Right?
well, yeah, but I was thinking completely different types of answers than that one. So that's awesome.
yeah,
So what do you
okay.
mean by that?
Yes, you can create a mass feed from, yes. Well, Norbert, that's not completely accurate. Let me show you why. On a map, every spot on this map, watch what happens as you change in the map, you change the URL. Every spot. And this map could have 3, 4, 5, 10,000 different pins, different locations on the map itself. See, the map changes depending on how you use it.
Right.
Okay.
He's got it.
All right.
Which, by the way, if you think about it, as not necessarily a negative, but how many times could you change that map in different views, different elevations, different pinpoints, and every time that you change it, it's a new map, but it's really the same map going to the same place. It's just a different look at that same map, correct?
Right.
So what about if you make 100 different variations of that map, just making minute changes? You still have 100 different maps, but you can use for the same reason and stack them on top of each other and so forth and so on, the way that we teach. So it's a different map every time you make a change. Like even, if you do zoom in a little bit, it's a different map. Zoom out, it's a different map. Does that make sense to everybody? And there are tools to do that for you as well. So.
Now, there's a lot more you could do with sheets than most everything else, but the comments and notes are a little different here. I don't want to do it on this one, so I'll find
Copy
one.
it. You copy it. And you can get rid of that first.
Well, I just go to the sheet one.
Mhm.
And just find something else.
And within our software, guys, we have the ability to create hundreds and hundreds of map variants too. Like in Backlink Factory, you can do map variants. I think in POI you can do map variants too. I'm not sure, but definitely in Backlink Factory, create hundreds and hundreds of variants.
So here's it's called map anchor text, but I'm not sure if that's real accurate. I don't remember for sure. But as you notice, we have the notes in here. See this, guys? And each line you could do individual comments. See that? Let's see.
So while you're thinking about doing that, we've also in the RFR program, can you guys think about what the benefit of putting a QR code in those sections might be? Or, you know, Google's going to read the QR code. It's sitting in your comments, providing another link wherever you want it to go. How do you add the comment in the spreadsheet? There's Joanne, there's a right click. He'll show you.
All right, this is a unique doc that I never went back to. Notice one thing, it's not anchor text. See that?
Just words.
If I were going to anchor text this, whatever number of them I wanted to do, I would insert a link and the ones I highlighted and put a link in the anchor text there.
Do it.
Okay.
Show them, do it.
So
put a link to Google in there and show them what happens. You don't have to save it.
Yeah, I don't have to save it.
Just do it. Highlight them, click link. That means they're all done. Put your anchor in there.
Here's a better way to do it.
Okay.
Water right here. See, it's already in the same niche. See that?
Yep.
Or crow's near. I could do either one. Well, let's do that one because it's relevant to the same niche. So once I did that, I'm going to grab my share link, copy the share link, go back to my sheet, finish my comment with that link to that doc. And now I've created some real advantage into the sheet, right? I can do this individually for every link, or I could do them over here. It doesn't matter how you do
all
that.
for the same one.
I can comment on my comments and so on. Everybody see that?
0 from 1 to 10. Anybody ever seen this before? Give me a 10. If no, give me a 0. We like to know that we're bringing fresh and new things to you guys. Okay. George says no. Cool.
Yeah. See, do I have anybody's head spinning right now?
I know what you're doing, and it always makes my head spin. Right, Diane. He spends all day long looking for new ways, clicking on links to be able to see where we can stack more.
I'm actually trying to convince Chris to make me a software to do some of this for you guys. Because I think the value of the Google backlinks stacked in the way that we're stacking them is unique. I think it's fresh. And I think it'll be rewarded. Okay. So I really want to, it's probably one of the next projects that we'll try and focus on. But I'd recommend you grab the course and go through it. It'll give you a systematic way of doing things that other people aren't doing.
Where is the course?
It's in my docs. But we have to finish that sales page for it first.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
No,
I think because everybody's here a Good Friday or on a Friday after Thanksgiving listening to you, I think you should just plop it in here and give it to everybody that's here.
all right, we can do that.
How about you guys want it? Big says, oh, yes. George
Hey.
is a 10. Yes, please, Diane.
I'll tell you guys what.
But you have to, in order to do that, you got to go through it and look at it, and you have to give us a lot of comments, a lot of feedback, so that we can share it with everybody else, so that they know that it's worthwhile. So you become my sales page.
You guys
okay
are
with
the
that?
only ones who get it free, not the people on the replay. Only because you guys were
We're
live.
here today. Yep.
So let's go over here.
Cool.
Anybody learn anything today?
I did. I learned to show up to the meetings because they're always something beneficial.
Don't remember which one's the FE. I think it's this one. We'll start here, this one.
Front end.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'll tell you have the day off, Diane. That's great.
All right. There's your front end, guys.
Actually, that's going to show up in the comments and the notes.
I'm going to remove it.
I don't know that
Once
you can.
everybody has it here, I can remove it, I think.
I don't know that you can remove it, can you? From the chat, from the comments?
Yes. Yes, I can
Okay.
remove it.
Okay.
I thought I could.
I don't think so.
It says delete. I can delete it. I'll show
Okay.
you. Once everybody says they have it, and then I'll remove them.
Either that or we just don't give a replay.
Yeah. All right, guys. Let me know as you got it. We know there's only so many people here, so let's everybody get them downloaded so I can remove them. Great, George. Al, you got it yet? David? Chris?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
All right. We'll go ahead and remove them. There we go. All right, guys. So, any questions at this point on any of this?
Is this what you just
Yeah,
had
yeah,
on Warrior Forum? Yes.
yes.
So you must have got that from Gene, Diane? Oh, yeah, we just did a launch on Warrior Forum. They're pretty good. Oh, yeah,
Okay.
that's true. So here's the thing. As you guys are going through this, what would help us a great deal is ping back to Gary, and or you can put it in the G site room, but kind of ping back things that come to your mind. How because everybody does their SEO and everything a little bit differently. Like where can you see that you're doing something that we didn't think about on how to use this particular aspect of what Google allows us to do, kind of like a secret vault to some degree. It's there in plain sight, right? But very few people look at things the way that we do when it comes to Google properties, how to use Google properties, where to find Google properties. I mean, just today, I didn't tell Gary this, but I've created an account on Google Books. How many people know about Google Books? I've got a number in my head that you guys do know about it. So how many of you know about Google Books and how many don't have a clue what they are? No, no clue. Okay. Who else? Don't look it up. All right. Never used it. Okay. So I was pretty much right. I figured one person would say that they did know about it. So here's the idea for you guys to think about. And this is how Gary's brain, my brain, and what we're trying to teach people is think about other places that are obscure that very few people actually know about. So if you go to Google Books and you look up what Google Books are, it's another property. So you could literally go and create a book if you wish, or a document, have ChatGPT help you write it, or will help you write it. And you can put in anything that would be related to one of your customers and create a book for your customer. Okay. Now, just remember that doesn't take very much effort anymore. So somebody give me a niche of one of your customers. I've never done this before, but let's just play. Anyone, first one, give me a niche. All I'm looking is David saying, nope. All right. All right. Joanne, you're so special. You and I talk all the time, but okay. So, you can create a book, solar panel, in-ground pools, plumbers, whatever your customer and client is. Homelessness is probably, a very good one to do as well, right? If you have a homeless shelter that you're working with, or a nonprofit, organization with a church that reaches out to the homeless in your area. So this is not well thought out. This is just me thinking last night when I'm reading about Google Books, how to create a subscription, looking at the other books that are there. Okay. And if this is one of my clients, I could literally create an ad in the form of a book, publish it on Google Books, and this is, see if everybody gets this right. If I'm on Google Books, publishing a book on Google Books, for an advertisement purpose for me, but content for that particular venue that you're writing the book for. So here's the trick question. Who owns Google Books? Everybody's thinking. Nobody knows. Oh my gosh, that's a trick question. Okay. So if you get a book published on Google Books, which is an advertisement for your customer with his links in your Google book, because you wrote a book about him, think about it. Okay. And it gets published on Google Books. Now you've got another link that has all of the links that you want in the Google book from a Google site. And the insanity continues. Does that make sense? I mean, I know this is probably nothing anybody's ever heard of before, because up until last night, I'd never heard that there was even such a thing as Google Books. Okay. So how did I find out about Google Books? Well, I went into Copilot and I went into ChatGPT and I asked both of them to give me every single property that Google owns that allows us to use and create. And there's 272 properties that Google owns. And they're not all like what we think they are, and some of them are different, but in every single one of those platforms, there should be a way for us to be able to do what we want to do and literally use Google as our slave. And it's all free. There's nothing, you can't pay Google to put a book on Google Books. And with some of the software out there, how many of you have seen an ad lately, Black Friday, whatever, create a book in 30 seconds? Everybody's seen one? Right? Create a book in 30 seconds. Everybody's got one of those ads this week. I guarantee you everybody did, because they're all in Warrior Form and they're all in JVZoo. And these guys are popping them out like rabbits. Okay. So if that's the case for, say, $100 investment or $150 investment, you get one of these products that can do this. And I don't know which one's any good. I haven't even bought any, but I will. How many books can we make in a day, in a week, in a month, for how many clients? How about writing a book about a customer and then send them a copy of your book on Google Books and saying, this is what we do for our SEO clients. What has your SEO done for you to publish you someplace? How about an outreach program? All right. Canva does a nice book. All right. With automations, you could do a ton of these things, George, as he says, right? So in our philosophy and what we want to try to do, no matter if there's 10 people here or 1,000 people here, is make sure that you are always keeping your eyes open and you're always looking for the next thing Google related to that you didn't know existed. So how about this? You don't know what a book to write? How about going into Archive Society of books that have ever been written that are public domain books, find a book on that subject and put it in ChatGPT and rewrite the damn thing and put all of the content in there with your customer, with his name, with his business, with his address, with his phone number, with links to, his grandpa at the graveyard, whatever you want to do, and then publish it for him and send it to him as a gift. Well, Diane, when you publish a book and you talk about, swimming pools, and the swimming pools is being built by your client, you put a link in the book to your client, because it's not a hard book, it's an electronic book. And because of that, you can link the crap out of stuff within your book. Does that make sense? You could actually do a bibliography of links in the back of the book, if you want. I mean, at some point you get to the point of being stupid about it. And, and that's where most people mess it up, but you don't need a lot, 4, 5, 6, 7, links throughout the copy of the book. And, you can do a 5,000 word, 10,000 word book on any particular subject in literally less than 10 minutes with the software that's out there these days, right? You guys have played it and you've done it. The same thing with taking chapters out of the book and making them what? Blog posts for that particular client, that particular customer, on that particular topic of that section of the book. So it's another authority link, David, right? And a prospecting tool all at the same time. Correct. I mean, I love doing these things and pushing them out and sending them to people, because who in the hell else is going to send them a book about their business? And it's an SEO tool, and so just another way to stick your foot in the door when they start to close it, right? And it's cheap, doesn't cost you a lot of money. Time wise, you could probably have a cup of coffee in the morning while you're reading the newspaper and write a book. Maybe,
Hey,
maybe
Patrick.
link to another authority doc in the G drive. Mike, you've been here for a while. I'm
Hey,
sorry,
Patrick.
Gary, go ahead. Yes.
I want to expand on that one step farther.
Sure.
We have the ability now to take, say, a book and turn your book into a podcast.
Correct.
And you could actually, once you do that, take that link to the podcast, put it right back in the book, and say, link to an audio version of this book, and link your podcast. And now you have some real power behind your book. Any thoughts on that, guys?
I have a thought. If you're going to do that, then you go to ChatGPT, you go to Copilot, you use every single one of the services and say, give me and find every podcast service that's on the internet that allows me to create a podcast, put a link on there, and it's free and doesn't charge me anything.
Exactly.
Now you got a link of about maybe 15 to 20 podcast places where you can take that podcast and link it to that podcast and that link back to the book and create your own spider web of content and links, right? Is Google Podcast one of the Google properties? I didn't even notice. Does Google have a podcast, Mr. J. Mike Seeley? Does it? If it does, put the link in the chat. I want to see it. Does everybody kind of get this whole idea of opening up your mind and expansion to thinking every time something happens, it's an opportunity to, open up that spider web door to see what else is on the other side of it that can help you? Is it one of the 272 tools or properties? I don't know. I don't think so. Notebook LM. Yes, that is amazing. Amazing. Everybody should look up Notebook LM, as David put in there. We are doing non-live podcast with Notebook LM, and it's just, we send it to our customers and clients, and they just can't believe how amazing it is. You got actually intervention between two people on a podcast talking to each other about the questions that you put in there and the answers that you gave them, which actually during the course of the podcast mentions your company that you're writing the podcast for. Thank you, David. In the back of my mind, I was thinking about it, but I couldn't remember it. Right? And then you could take the podcast and you could reverse what you just said, Diane, right? In both ways. You could take any press release that you have out there and turn it into a podcast, which we do right now. We're going to have a Black Friday sale on press releases coming up in a day or two. We have a white label version of Madge's press releases, so I get them at half off. So it's $199 press releases, or 99 bucks. And we convert the press release into a podcast, and we syndicate the podcast for the customer and the client through that process. Right? So that coming up sometime this week, we're going to offer that. Okay. But Notebook LM or LMN or whatever it's called, LM, look it up and play with it. David, is there a charge for a Notebook LM? I'm not sure. Is there a free version? How did we get down this rabbit hole, guys? I mean, all Gary was trying to do is show us how to stack comments. This time it was you. Oh, Diane. Okay. But if you begin to start thinking like Gary and I and the guys that, are on our team, we think like this all the time. One little flicker in a tinderbox creates a fire that can burn a house down. And that's how you got to keep looking at everything, is open-minded. How can I use this? I'll be honest with you. We're going to come out this week with a page for our new G-Site cloning program. And I was inspired by a Warrior Forum ad that said, we can clone any website for any reason whatsoever that you want us to clone it for. And I looked at that and I said, yes, that you can, but you're stupid if anybody does it, because you're completely cloning something from one website to another website. So there are some various reasons you don't want to do it, but it inspired me to steal their entire website, put their entire website into ChatGPT to have it break the code down. Then we rewrote the code with ChatGPT and Copilot for Ranking Store. And now the page that we're going to be presenting is literally a rewritten page of somebody else's advertisement that I did using code, and then taking the code and putting it into a new URL section. And then we're going to clone that into a G site. So our G site is going to be a clone of our clone of their clone of their clone. Modified because ChatGPT modified it. But I only say that to you guys because that's how you have to think if you're going to get ahead of everybody else. You have to think every time that something comes in front of you, how are you going to best use it for your own advantage, and not do anything that is hurting and harming anybody else along the way, because we don't ever want to do that, right? I mean, the site that we're using, of the site that he created, is got nothing and looks nothing like his site. We modified the whole thing and then we cloned it, right? Diane says, but I love it because I just am starting to offer mini podcasts to local businesses. Okay, so you guys want to hear what I did when I was on my way to Mexico to a bike rally in Rocky Point, Mexico? We went to one of our clients, one of the people that you guys know, I won't mention his name. He lives in Phoenix, and one of his customers and clients is a real estate agent. That's it. Gary's got exactly the rule he lives by, right? So listen to this for lead gen. I'm not sure it's going to resonate with everybody, but we have a gentleman who has an office, and he has a real estate office, and he's trying to get more mortgage brokers, right, to communicate with him and give him more leads for the real estate, and vice versa, more real estate leads to them. So when I was out there and we were talking about our AI agent and other things that we can do, I said, look, because I actually did this. This is not something I dreamt up. We did this when I was part of a mortgage company back a couple of years ago, when we did all their marketing for them. So he's got a perfect place in his office to set up a little screening room. Okay. So he's going to set up the screening room. He's going to make it really nice. He's going to invite every realtor within a 10-mile radius of him to come to his office and do a free what? Can you guess what he might be giving them? A free what? Starts with a P, it's 3 letters, and it ends with a D. And then it has the word cast after it. Right? So think of this as being innovative, and how to be able to create business. Maybe it's your real estate customer or your mortgage customer that has space, to do something like this, where they can set up a setting for a podcast. The mortgage guy comes in and does a podcast about mortgages and refers back to a real estate guy, who the real estate guy comes and does a podcast about real estate. And then he refers to the mortgages. And now you got two people that are doing two podcasts that can be syndicated through the podcast network, to news press releases. And you can monetize all of those in how many different ways on social media for the benefit of each of them. And guess how much he's charging them to do that? You're a little high, Mike. Free. Okay. Who the hell else is doing something like this? So he's getting everybody in to build up their what? It's 3 letters, starts with an E and ends with an O and has a G in the middle of it. Their ego. Now they're podcasters. Then he syndicates it to the podcasting environments. It doesn't cost him anything, right? And now you've got content up the wazoo that's out there that only you could do. And so now, as he's doing this, he wants to get he is in the real estate business. So he wants to get the mortgage guys to send and do the mortgages for him and send their mortgage clients to him that want real. See the reciprocity that goes on here, right? So that's how you got to think in this new age, in this new world of what we're doing, because keyword research is basically dead. Anybody believe me when I say that? And if it isn't dead now, it will be. Everybody's thinking about that one, right? So Gary put in there exactly what people are doing, and you think about it yourself. You got all of the voice searches. If you're not optimized and you don't optimize all of your customers and your clients for voice search, you're doing a tremendous disservice. Who cares about citations? Citations, they've been around for how long? And all right, I'm not going to say that they don't have any value, because somebody will take me to task and prove me wrong. Yes, they have some value, but 87% of the people that are looking for something are looking at for on their phone, and they're either talking about it or they're at home saying, Siri, I need a new Christmas present for my 7-year-old daughter who loves horseback riding and hates the color pink. What can I get her? That's the new search, guys. And we wrote a book about it called Search Shift. And it's $3.99. If you haven't bought it, go buy it, read it, give us a review. And if you're not spending time trying to rank on Bing and you're focusing everything on Google, shame on you. Shame on all of us. Yes, Microsoft only has an 8% share of the market, of the search market, but it used to be like 1% and it's up to 7%. So it's increasing its market share by hundreds of percentage points over the timeline, right? 8% of hundreds of millions. It's lots and lots and lots. And it's also, if you think about it, for you guys, it's easier to rank on Bing than it is on Google. Even though they only have 7 or 8% market share, they have all the computers with Microsoft and so you get the whole, trinity that's going on there, right? So just don't spend all your time trying to rank on Google. Segment a portion of your time concentrating on Bing, because it will be easier. Now, wait another year, it's going to be just as hard to rank on Bing as it is on Google. So, any questions? Did you get today what you expected to get? Oh, okay. I had a tab open for the book. Just bought it. Okay, use the Kindle version. I mean, don't do the Amazon. Do the Kindle version. I think I said that. I hope so. It's only $3.99, and you can. And you can expand the words and make them bigger, which is what I did. But you know, go on there, give us a review, tell us what you think, and we appreciate it. Anybody have any last questions? Some of the people that are new, you gotta have some questions. So you got Gary, who's the one who created most everything that you're playing with, so he's the guy that can answer the questions for you. Joanne, you always have questions. And no, we won't talk about Jenny or Ava at the moment. Or what other questions do you have that might be cool for everybody else to hear?
What's your question, David?
Calendar stacks, what is it? What about it, David? Yeah, let's do this.
We will be doing a updated calendar training on one of these Friday calls because it's kind of needed.
All right, okay. For the podcast with realtors, did they do on camera or just voice? No. We actually record the whole thing as a YouTube video or a complete, you know, face video, not faceless. So the reason that we do that is if it's just it's more of a vanity thing than an SEO thing, because if they know that they're going to have their presence being shown on a YouTube or a TikTok or an Instagram reel, you know, there's a vanity feature there, right? If you just do voice, it kind of takes away from some of that, you know, pizzazz, authenticity, excitement, you know, that they're going to be out there. And then some people have said, I don't want you to do that. And we said, fine, we don't, you know, we don't have to. We'll just do everything, you know, by voice, and we'll do podcasts, and nobody will ever see your face. Right. So it's two ways, but I certainly like the idea of it being recorded and gives us a lot more opportunities for posting and social, right? Big Al's is a newbie.
Every Friday, Big Al. We do this every Friday.
Every Friday.
And we could go back and give you some of the older ones as well if you hit me up for them.
So Al, let me ask you a question. Why are you here? What are you, you know, what software do you have? And what is it that you really, really, really in your heart want to accomplish for yourself and or your clients or whoever you're working for? You know, I know it's where you are, your family's probably still sleeping. Otherwise, I'd put you on here to talk with us. I can if you'd like, or you can just kind of share with us, you know, a little bit about your journey and how we can help you.
While he's doing that in text, I want to answer David real quick on the calendar. So you have the structure right, David, of the calendar software is very flexible. You could do one link and then stack the comment links in a stack, or you could actually do a single link in each event that way. I don't think I would do it that way, but here's what I want to give everybody a warning and why we're going to go into more training on it. Too many people have been overdoing the calendar and stacking it 48 deep for a moderate niche. When you stack a deep calendar 38 or deeper and you stick it on auto repeat forever, you're sending so much power that it's great for a national client, which is what that was designed for. But when you come to a medium hard niche to an easy niche, you're sending so much power, you're drowning yourself out, and you're actually hurting yourself rather than helping yourself. I hope that makes sense. But we'll get into some very, very good specifics and case use when we bring up the calendar and do it again. So for a moderate niche, I'd recommend no more than 5 deep, 5 across, or 5 to 7 across for a mile, no deeper than that.
So one thing over time, you guys will get to know that Gary and I can't type for shit because we don't really
That's true.
share. We just want to get it out there, and I have to watch my keyboard because I don't see what I'm watching. But for Al, for what your purpose is, if you want to be just do a passive income, you can do rank and rent sites, so you can build sites out. You can begin to rank them, and then when they are ranking and you're getting traffic from them, then you can contact people that are near you in that business, and then rent those sites out. So you have the rank and rent. The other one, which is more and passive, would be to do affiliate marketing. And if you're not familiar, you can look at one of the affiliate networks called Offer Vault. And I like to go there quite frequently. And the really cool thing about affiliate marketing now, it used to be, a little bit harder, but now you go to these sites like Offer Vault, and you'll find, some things that'll pay you out 500, 700, $1,500, $2,000 commissions, like especially you're getting into gold IRAs or crypto stuff or whatever. And so there's some big money to be made for, Big Al. And the way that you would end up doing that is literally take their pages that they create, turn them into G sites, and crisscross back and forth your linking. But we know that your G sites are going to rank better than their regular site because their regular site's a piece of shit. They don't know how to rank it. They don't want to rank it. They don't give a care about it because all they're doing is giving data to guys that like you and me are out there are going to try to do what we can to get customers to that, do ads, through ranking or whatever. But the cool part is that now you can take one of those, $500, $750 commissions with our tools, and, you can build G sites. You can do the stuff that Gary's doing, really kind of go all out, take some of their training, make a podcast out of it, make a YouTube video out of it, put that out there on there. And you're going to be uniquely out there with the content that you're creating for the, properties that you're trying to rank for, and passively get paid, for somebody finding that with what you're doing. And our tools fit really, really good within that environment to be able to do that, simply because ours are going to rank. I'll give you an example. Everybody here, how many people are here, Gary? 10, 12, 13?
Yeah. 10.
Okay, so here's what everybody to do. And then I want you to tell me where this site ranks, because you guys are all over the world. Okay, so this is kind of like, never know what's going to happen, but let's take a shot at it. So everybody in here, type in these 4 words. I'll type them in. You copy them, and then you put them in your browser, and you search for them, and you tell me where they're ranking. Okay, fair deal? Big Al does public speaking. Oh, now you're making me shy, and I don't want to, talk so much in front of a pro. All right, everybody go into your browser. Type those 4 words into your browser. And I want you to put in the chat, hopefully put in the chat, where is what position is the very, very first G site, Google site that you see in relationship to that company's name? George says number 2. Diane says number 2. Ranking number 2 in Southern California. Joanne is in Canada, number 2. Now look down the page a little bit further. Do you see any more G sites that are ranked somewhere down the page? And number 4, Mike says, in California. Okay. So, and let's see, George says number 5. Right. So I do this as an exercise to show you that this shit works. Okay. But you got to do it the right way and believe and trust when we tell you how to do something. Like I use our tools to get this to happen, but I also use somebody else's tools behind our tools to boost our tools to make sure that it does happen. Does that make sense? It's like you can use another PBN behind ours because we're big enough and strong enough to take it. Oh, look at that. David Kennedy says Knowledge Panel, Oklahoma. Wow, that's crazy. Wow, David says 2 and 4. Okay. You guys get excited about it this like I do, right? I mean, just think if we can, if you can do this and learn these things and not get down the rabbit trail of shiny object syndrome and everything that comes by, and really get a good VA to help you, good SOPs to help you, and get this stuff done. It's, I think Mike once you said it's not rocket science. It's just doing what you're told to do the way that you're told to do it and being diligent and getting it done.
I want to touch Howie's kind of statement there for a second, Patrick.
Yeah, sure.
If I was to take either Offer Vault, some of the higher offers, or ClickBank, or any of the prominent offers that make it worthwhile, I believe my target would be a review page, and I want to tell you why. There's a percentage of people, no matter what the product come out that's out there, they're going to do the research to say, is there any complaints out there? Is there any negativity? Things of that nature. And a review page is the perfect vehicle to target that individual that'll take that extra steps. You're going to outrank the page that they're at anyway, and you're going to appear at the top of any search. So I think a review page is the right path to go, and you'll get to both ends of the same world. Does that make sense, folks? Ah, okay.
I hate it when people show up at our webinars that are smarter than us.
That's everybody's smarter than me. That's what happens when you get old.
Oh, damn.
Don't you know that these 21-year-olds have all the answers and know everything?
Howie, do we know you from somewhere? It seems like I know you. So yes, we can actually sit down and have a session about exactly what we think we can do with that and what the tools sets that would be the best to do that. Currently I'm a PPC target brand. Okay.
Diane, I'm a fan of maybe one page or multiple page per single product. I'm not sure I put different but related products. You can test both of them. But I've been more lean towards, because here's the goal. The goal is to outrank the other people looking in that search. I think if you follow what we do with G sites, you'll outrank anybody anyway, if you do it the right way. So I just think if you're gonna go down that path, target the stuff that makes it worthwhile. You want two things. You want a high commission, and you want something that has a lot of traffic, both. And that's a hard combination to get both of them together. If you do get both of them together, it's gonna be very competitive. So you really gotta put in the effort to outdo the rest of them.
So Howie, I just sent you a message on my other Skype that I do watch every day, not the one that I had before that I don't watch very often. But yeah, Gary's spot on, right? I mean, like I've got guys that are friends of mine that are just trying to, bust in the gold IRA market. And that was a pretty significant market. And then they changed all the rules and this and that and the other thing. But who cares? You just pivot to something else. It's there's so many things that are out there that you never can run out of stuff to do, especially in the affiliate marketing area. Howie's obviously an expert at it, so he could address the answer to that question as well. It doesn't matter. If you get off, they knock you off the chair. Shit, there's 25 other chairs in a room to go sit on. No big deal.
Well, I'm gonna throw one more thing in there before we start heading towards a wrap up. Guys, here's the smartest thing you can ever do. And there's actually a tool that'll do it for you. Trend Miner. Anybody familiar with Trend Miner?
Jack, what's his name?
Yes,
Jack.
yes.
Yeah, that's
Guys,
absolutely amazing tool. It used to be anyway. I'm not sure about now.
yeah, here's the thing. If you could find a trend that's just beginning and you can follow it for 3 or 4 months, you see it's trending up, likelihood it's going to trend up and continue in that direction for a period of time. If you wait till it's already trending, you're too late to the game. Okay? Because you're getting in on the back end of something that's hot. Okay? If you can get on the front end of something that's hot before anybody knows it's hot or starting to get there, you're in the forefront. You're the one that's going to make the bulk of money. Okay? Trend Miner will find trends as far as 18, 24 months, even before it's truly trending, because you can see each month the traffic is increasing. And you can follow it so you know what to target or not to target. Okay? That's the key to seeing what niches and what things are moving in an upward direction. Okay, it'll also show you what's moving in a downward direction, which tells you you're too late.
Yeah.
Okay. There
So
are.
let's
Yeah.
kind of wrap this up. I'm gonna wrap this up here with one thing. All right. I gotta rephrase it now that I know there are smart people here. Okay. So how many of you guys, for yourself, for your customers and your clients, and whatever it is you're trying to sell, how many of you have established and set up at least daily Google alerts? Anybody? Give me a 10 if you have. I'll assume the rest of you have not. Yeah, okay. All right, Al, cool. So if you're dealing with any affiliate product, set up Google Alerts. And you want to set up Google Alerts based on that keyword, and you want to set it up based on the country that it's from. Okay. And if you're dealing with a person that has a hair salon, you want to set up Google Alerts for anything that has to do with hair salons, and you want to get those alerts every single day. Okay. So I'm gonna leave this up to Al to answer this question. Al, why do you get Google Alerts every day? And you can just type it in the chat and let us know, or I put you on speaker, but you're at home and you can't do that. Right? You want to pull the info and make content, number one. The second reason is that Google Alert is coming from a company. So you know that company is doing well because they're posting enough to be in Google Alerts and they've got it set up. So then you start tracking and following that company and finding out what they're doing, to get more business. and the Google Alerts, then you can take over to Google Trends or Miner, which Gary was just talking about, and you can see what's happening in Google Trends. How many of you guys use Google Trends? Reverse engineer the SEO. Exactly, George. Right? How many of you guys use Google Trends as opposed to Google Alerts? You guys want a real quick lesson on Google Trends before we leave? 10 minutes. Okay, everybody else can leave. It's just going to be me and David. Oh, Joanne says she wants. All right, let me see if I can do this. Hang on a minute. Let me stop sharing my screen. Or I'm going to share my screen. Allow multiple presenters to share. Okay.
I
share
stopped
Oh, you
sharing.
got it. You got to stop sharing. Okay. All right, let me go over here, see if I can do this. Open up a new browser. Okay, that's Zoom. Get out of there. Tell me if you can see my Zoom window. You see my Zoom?
Yeah.
Okay.
I see the red key store is all I see.
Well, I'm sharing my screen, so you should see Zoom. Let's see, share. All right, let's do this. Share. How about now?
Yeah, it's starting now. There you
Okay.
go.
All
Got
right.
it.
So let's go up here and go to Google Alerts. All right, so I'm on Google. Oh, I gotta fix that, right? See, I told you I can't type. GoogleAlerts.com, where is it? See it anywhere? Just that's what I want. Okay, so very simply, this is how we find different things that are happening and different keywords, that people are talking about, right? So you can click up here under trending now. You can see all the stuff that's going on. Baseball or basketball, Crocs, pink, stock market, all that stuff, right? All right. And then you can hit this explore button. And in the explore button, we can then type in a topic about what to explore. I'm in the United States, past 12 months, categories, and so forth, right? So I think I got so much open, it might be not able to do this because it's frozen. But if you go in here and you type in what category or what you're trying to research, you just add it in here and you can, pick whatever country you're in, and it will tell you specific data down to the zip code of the people that you are trying to find in the cities and the countries and the states that you want to find them in that are looking for your specific keyword. And I'm froze up here because all the shit I got going on, so I apologize. But play with this. Go to YouTube, type in how do I use Google Alerts, and just start to play with this, because you're going to end up getting, things like topics and keywords that are breaking out that keyword finders and keyword search tools will never, ever find. And then it will also tell you what state is hot, and then what county is hot in that state, and what city is the hottest of the hot boxes within that city and state for the keyword that you're looking for. So you don't have to waste time, shotgun marketing. You can laser target it exactly what it is that you want down to exactly where you want to find it. Does that make sense to everybody? So I'm sorry it's froze up, but Howie, okay. All right, I'll look for it, Howie. If not, call me on my phone number about, so give me a 5 if that makes sense for everybody. Okay? So these are the things that we want you guys to be able to see and understand. And when, listen, you are required as part of our group that when you find something that's as cool as the stuff that we're finding and sharing with you, you guys are required to share it with everybody within our room so that we can all be on the same page and finding out really cool things, because 1,000 eyes are better than one pair. You guys agree with that? Give me a 10 if you agree with that. That's how we've been able to grow this over the last 7 years, is by making sure that we pay it forward every day when we can. And if everybody does that, we are an amazing group of people. Would you agree? Cool. Except there's guys like J. Mike Seeley out there that, he just kind of keeps everything to himself. And once in a while, he'll throw a nugget out there, but we love him anyway. All right. All right. Any last questions on this day after Thanksgiving? A lot to be thankful for. I'm sure there are a lot of people that would like to be thankful for some other things that they are missing or having significant problems within their life right now with going out through the world. But all we can do is, on our day of Thanksgiving, just pray for everybody else. Be thankful that we are not in those situations, and pray that their situations will change rapidly. Right. So with that being said, does everybody have the download from Gary? Everybody got the download? Okay. Yes, 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 yes. Mike, you know me, I'm always building you up, sir. Okay, everybody's got the download, Gary, so we're good.
All right. We
All right.
appreciate everybody taking the time to be here.
And look at the emails and look at the Skypes. We spam them all with the stuff that we're going to be doing the next 3, 4, 5 days, coming up with stuff for Black Friday.
Hey,
And
Chris, we're going to remove that link. It's no longer available.
what's no longer available?
Map Pin Factory.
Yeah, it is.
Well, then the link is bad.
I'll fix the link.
Oh, okay. All
All
right.
right. I'll try to fix the link. Yeah.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Big Al. Appreciate you getting up early this morning, and you all have a great weekend. Okay. Thank you.
Take care, everyone.